New glasses? What?
Yeah. I had to go to Kmart and get me some threes. I couldn't see with those twos no more. I had to get threes now. Holy shit.
So we'll get started here. Mitakuyapi ake yushkia wachian campido. Ake Elijah Hopkins demie. Dakota chaje dakodie unspemiche makupido. Dayaya hipido mitakuyapi. So relatives, welcome again to the Buffalo Chasers podcast. Yours truly, Elijah Hopkins, joined as usual with our the stars of the show, Mr. Earl Bullhead and Mr. Tommy Christian. Thank you, both of you gentlemen, for joining us today. We are at the 50th episode by my count, September the 23rd, 2021. And so before we get started, if Dexy Earl, if you could share a prayer with us, get us started in a good way, we would appreciate that.
Mitakuyapi. Tatonto chan oche kanisha chan. Akue opila kako you have an yuchan. You have uyakavna. Etna het chateta hana. Akuku kawa ste uyucha benacha. You have wacheka unkaka. Saat hokashila le ampetu wakam yakupile. Opila kaka hecha. Now, when I lila, I petted Waleha lila yato kit habna to Aku Kanaku. Ila wasn't I up church and go hena to Kashila. And I was Sheikh Jiwuchik at Hal and I nach una hena ukiae. Now, she lila Mutaki Ota Akichita Opkap hena Iza Uchik at Hagnach una hena ukiae. Now, Okana ukit habna. Uchin. Gashla Hinacha Nija he Akuka he Nicha Piena Ushech Chihena Ushech Chihena Ukiaye Nachi Liloyato Git Ota Uchika Nicha Mas Soleption Child Hukashla Awichayan Kate Hukashla Sotoksha Toha Ijahe Niecha Niwakan Chasloyakte. So na kutua kehena maza tipi ukehena ja yukchamoya kabna. Huye na wocheka ekwa kabna. Et kehena ja he wocheka nicha uchahet hukashla. Elekchewi chashe yukchamcha. Hena chahe wocheka wash agyu ki apina. Hetaha mkija wash teste yukcha wocheka unkaka mkoki.
Oh.
Kahet khate topata ka hena le wochika no oloma da kuku wakha uyukcham ke hena nakhona he ushyakhche no kokya pie na tiwa he onkit khapi jana ku ila otala he shicha etka upchacha he kokya pie na ta kuku he itaha washtesto ka kokipcha hena ushyonkya pie Saat Hukashla Leon Petu Wakan Hakoke Heli Woloptat Hanka. So he only Wochika Ogirabna Anahoptana Dokishke he Unichabna Washte Yukchab Ke Wochika Ekwakacha Het Hukashla Mushium Kapie. Saat Hukashle Huye Nahe Wochika Etka he Hetke Huyawam Chahet Hukashle, Kokiapie, Hukashle Ushekchi, Kokiapie, O Mitakuawasi.
So again, relatives, those of you that are following us on the Facebook live feed, those of you that are joining us through our webinar, the students, employees at the Port Peck Community College. One of the ways that we try to incentivize participation is by doing a weekly drawing. And so if you could give us a like, a share, smash that love button, we would appreciate that.
First thing in the morning.
And that's how you're going to be able to get your name in the hat for next week's drawing. And so the winners of the week 49 drawing are
4. Hey, call me at this number at 4. 650-0375.
Is the jacket winner is Carrie Campbell. Carrie Campbell is the winner of the jacket, and then the Kindle Fire tablet winner is Tyrell Rock.
Right on, right on.
The Rock, yeah,
but the Rock.
Right on. So congratulations to Carrie and Tyrell. You can retrieve those items at the Student Services reception area at the War Eagle Vision Poplar main campus. Call 406-768-6370. Give them your size and your mailing address, and they'll hook you up. So congratulations to the winners. Winner chicken dinner. All right. So this is the point where I just hand over the reins to Dexy, Tommy, and Earl, and take it away.
Okay. Toshka Dai Chano. Doksha, oh yeah, one of these days I'll win one of those things. God darn it, you're just wishing and wishing. I went and sweat last night and praying that I'd win a jacket or one of those Kindle Fires, but nothing. So my prayers must not be no good. Mi tak epidaya hipi ushima chewi chashamelo. Ambe tukile mi chante ta oaglake nahana pe chiuza pelo. Ohe chaje mita wamnisha ge toba imachiape. Naha chie mitawa niche ole wana hi hoka he hechetuelo ushimalo omakia naha aganagupta. So with that, my relatives, we welcome you. We offer you our hands. We're going to speak to you from our heart today. And in that, we're really glad that you're all here. And me and my older brother, Earl Bullhead, is going to carry on our discussion accordingly. And we kind of recently have just kind of randomly picking topics as we go and whatnot. And again, we, one of the things that we do, and we actually look into that, make sure that we remain apolitical and apersonal. We don't have a political agenda. We don't have a personal agenda in wishing to achieve some clarity for the sake of our cultural value system based on natural law. And with that, we always try to understand the importance of not being too demanding or telling people, but just sharing in a good way. We always try to do that as well as we know how. And of course, I had such gracious teachers. It's not hard for me to do that because that's the way I was taught. And it had a lot to do with abstract learning, that experiential teaching. I had many opportunities to go out and actually participate and be guided and brought through these particular things that they requested of me and all that good stuff. So are you still there? Oh. Hello? Go ahead, Chia.
Oh yeah. You're listening to Tommy talk. I'm kind of busy man over there, man. Phone calls left and right. Yeah. Call me at 4 o'clock. Right on the money.
Yeah, it's like that.
Potato.
Oh.
Anyway, I'd like to say hello to everybody out there. And, fall is upon us, and such a beautiful thing to see. That preparation that needs to be done now is getting your vehicles ready to go and making sure that things are put away, because the way things are turning with the world and this atmosphere, we don't really know what to expect. Some say it's going to be a hard winter, and some say this, some say that, but always be prepared. And that's what our elderlies used to teach us. Be sure and be prepared for what's coming. And so I'm going to stock up on some flour and stuff like rice or meats or whatever. And people are out hunting today, so it's going to be a time of contemplation and say, what am I going to need to survive the winter? What do I need to weatherize my house? And I sit and think about those things, and I'm very thankful that I was brought up in a way to be prepared. Not always, but most of the time, I'm able to be able to handle it. I always remember one time we went to a celebration, and when all the winners and things were all paid off, there was about 20 some drums waiting for some assistance, gas money, but committee was gone.
Yeah.
And one of the guys walked up and said, Earl, he said, well, you think we're going to get some gas money? I said, they're all gone. I said, but you got to remember, he said, getting to the powwow and getting home, that's your responsibility. You can't depend on that all the time.
Yeah.
So I've always been prepared for that. So anyway, so my biggest, how would you say it, without getting too controversial, is that so much has changed. Holy smokers, man.
Yeah.
So much has changed. You know, even that little short period of time that I wasn't able to get and participate and sing at the celebrations of Ushkates, that I noticed that a lot of things have changed. And I noticed that there are a lot of women that wear beautiful ribbon skirts. And there's some history behind that and purpose for that. And that's a wonderful thing. But back in the day, we hardly ever seen anything like that.
Mhm.
And then the shawls used to be all sequins. Now they got all this beautiful ribbon work and stuff on them like that shina.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself that the word shina in itself is a buffalo hide. You know,
Mhm.
when you wore it, it's called a shina. So that word has changed a lot. And now it's women's shina wachi, women's fancy shawl. So that concept of covering for ourselves, or something that we utilized many years ago, where the word originated, was from a cowhide, a buffalo hide. So much change I see and notice, even in the way in which people are greeting each other, and that's because of the precautions we have to make, the elbowing and
Yeah.
power, shoulder to shoulder, things that we have, how would you say, kind of things that we had that were so beautiful and so nice are being changed. And that's just because of the times. So this guy drinking that pop, that's another change. You ever read the label on there? Noche Bis put down. Oh, wow. Probably a lot of stuff you don't even know how to pronounce.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe kind of ease on to a little bit of discussion about change, in our
Zoom
world.
meetings, bro. Zoom meetings.
Yeah, that's another one too.
Mhm.
This opportunity to be able to exchange like this, who'd ever think that was possible? Oh, what? Even these phones, these cell phones, and the way they communicate and all that, it's amazing. I see people just thumbing it through that, and me, when I touch it, I end up spelling it all wrong and stuff. And I don't see how to get that so precise. I guess that comes from practice. They can tap out messages with acronyms and all that kind of stuff going on. And me, it takes forever just to dial a number. But we're at that, how would you call it? We're the old school guys.
Yeah.
No matter how we look at it, we're old school, huh? Even our mannerisms, You want to say something in Lakota to somebody, but you don't feel you want to offend them,
Yeah. Yeah.
So even that too, in our mindsets there. So it's always best to say, well, if they really want to learn, they're gonna make an attempt, and then we can help out.
Yeah.
But until they start doing that, I don't want to offend anybody,
Lila Kuja.
Yeah.
No, they'll be getting mad at you. Because it used to mean really sick. Now it means really hangover.
Yeah. That's changed too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I thought maybe we kind of touch base on that a little bit and say, well, I said, what other things have I observed that's come to a change? And like for instance, when we went out to butcher a buffalo for a celebration, the process in which we prayed and smothered for the life of that buffalo, giving us this nourishment and stuff like that. I said, when we went through that, it was really a special feeling, meaning to know that we have this relationship with this buffalo, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
What an honor it was, even though it was tragic to see that a life had to be spared, but from it we received our nourishment. And how much that we have depended on and what we've learned on the buffalo. So much we still have to learn, you know. Like for instance, we say Tahu Tanka is one way they pronounce buffalo. And then some say Taha Tanka, which is a big hide. That's another usage of pertaining. And then now all of a sudden it's just plain Tatanka.
uh-huh.
You know? So Tahu is refers to the big hump on the back, the bone part. And then the Taha means that skin
Big
that's over the
hide,
big
yeah.
hump. Yeah. So that's three interpretations of how we can say the word for like today we use Tatanka.
Big horns.
Yeah,
Big horns, Diabado.
some people
Yeah.
say tanka, but that's not correct either. So I thought maybe we kind of elaborate on that a little bit about that process or procedure in which we're trying to achieve. So what do we have to put our mindset on is how can we instruct or how can we teach others? And we're on a good start. We're all set for to Swetcha,
Mhm.
all set to go. You know, on my part on this side,
Yeah, we're good to go.
yeah, I was a little disappointed in our up here, but then you got to look at the pandemic part of it too. You know, the concern for the younger ones and stuff. So I think what we're about to present and the way it came to us, I think that was very powerful to be able to be part of that event. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going down there. Hey, you guys again.
Yeah.
Hook up with Chris maybe and go to that place where they cook everything on a big old frying pan, man. You know, you choose all your meats, put it all together and they cook it for you, flip knives. They don't want to cook. You meet each other, make new friends. It's exciting. You know, I'm always very happy to go that way because
Yeah.
they still speak their language a lot.
Uh,
There's lots to learn, you know. There's little inferences that they have and they make and laugh, you know, and have a good time. You know, like I always have to laugh at the word chanwish, you know. I've always wondered where that came from. You know. So they had a presentation about those kinds of words, you know.
Yeah.
So I waited till the end, and so I asked the presenters. I said, "Well, what about the word chanwish?" You know, I said every time my dad got frisky, my mom would say chanwish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of went from there, you know.
Yeah.
So we have cool things to learn from our language and to share it. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that's been available for a long time, and people are coming out with it now.
Yeah.
There are more and more people making efforts to speak now than there were in my generation. You know, there was just very few. Even right now, the only ones I can think about that are my age is like my Kola Virgil and Anthony and different ones that we sing together who speak the language and enjoy those conversations, you know. But
Yeah.
even then, you know, instead of continuing just talking, when somebody shows up that doesn't speak, we change. And that's
Yeah.
been taught to us too.
Yeah.
You want to make people comfortable in your aura, you know, so if it makes someone comfortable, you have to understand that.
Yeah.
So, but if they wish to speak and learn, then there's a protocol, a procedure for it, you know.
Yeah.
And a good part of it is it comes out through songs, in our dancing, to hear those powerful words in songs, it makes it really nice. Anyway, so color, motion, and shkan is what makes our spirit move, So even that has come to a change in our culture, So many people have whistles, and boy, everybody has a dream associated with it. But in the beginning, there was only 7. There was only 7, and one of them was my uncle. And matter of fact, I'm at his daughter's house right now on this podcast.
Oh, so, Joe, eh?
Yeah. My Uncle Joe,
yeah.
Yeah, he taught us many things. He said, don't ever leave your drum standing or sitting by itself. He said, you stand it up if you're not going to use it, and you keep on it, stay on it. Don't let anybody tell you any different. You stand it up.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they'll take it from you.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Because you have to be responsible for it. And speaking of which, Elijah, how's the drum doing? You check on the drum every day, or doing, or is it?
Boom, oh yeah, heck yeah, sounds crisp. Sounds crisp. I have to fix one of the handles on it though, because that sucker was so big and heavy. One of them was starting to tear. So, but I'm gonna sink a bigger screw in it, and we'll fix it up. Yeah, it sounds good.
Those are just the little things that have to come along with it. But I'm really appreciative of you guys asking me to come and help out with it. And it was an excellent idea where it all came from, but it don't matter. We did it,
Oh.
Yeah. We did it, I'd like to get footage of that someday.
Oh, we got it. We'll put it together.
Yeah. I talked to Neil, the Washichu with Chasha that was there. He interviewed everybody, and so he's putting together a 5-minute video, and I'm gonna meet him either tomorrow or next week. He's gonna take some pictures of that drum. He's gonna include that in that 5-minute video for your presentation. That's how we'll lead right in with that video, or however you want to do it. But there'll be a 5-minute video with that drum, but we'll need a projector or something, and that way whoever's in the workshop, they'll get that professional cinematic.
Yeah, we're on 2 times.
Yeah, 2 times we'll do it then. Yeah.
So we need our smudge pot, dookie, they call it.
Dookie.
We need a little bit of smudge, a little smudge and some cedar, and to do it in the right way.
Oh,
so we're prepared. We're experienced now, learning as we go. But anyway,
yeah. It's interesting that you're talking about how we've evolved utilizing these things, because again, Zoom is a part of it, and there's so many other things, aspects of trying to maintain the integrity of who we are with an indication of respect, not losing or compromising that protocol, but sometimes adjusting it so that we can do this, like singing, like Robert singing that song, and then of course the prayers that you go and you share before. We're trying to adapt in a manner in which it's affording us to do that, and so that's really good. We're trying to archive it so we can get these things established and really address some of the issues that concern us as it relates to losing what is ours, because we got to really concentrate on the protocol, and some people, you see it as well as I do, Chie. A lot of people are out there, especially our young people, not really having the wisdom of what the ceremony is about, but they want the attention, they want the prestige, they want money for the ceremony, but that's not what it's for. It's for the sake of le chamualo, if I said that right. and they're losing the sight of that because they're getting in too much of a hurry. They need to realize that these wapia wichasha wapia wiapi, that's got to be in their bloodline, and well, it doesn't got to be, but it's really important that this communication with the spirit world is maintained through our ceremony and our protocol and our language especially. And a lot of the ceremonies you currently go to, they speak English, and that's kind of a little different, but yet, so then you get to recognize some of them are just doing it for a show, just to be doing it, and that's not what it's about. It's about maintaining the connection with our spirit world that's going to provide us that direction and guidance in respects to maintaining what has come from long ago. But the point that I'm making is, like we're wishing to archive what all is that we say for the sake of a foundation or a basis of that value system to be shared by others. So at least they get an understanding of what our intent is here. It's not to tell them or make a good Indian. It's to help them understand the ideology of the manner in which we were taught under natural law. And it's to help them understand the importance of not doing it for money, not doing it for show. And of course, the ones that are doing it like that, when they leave, they talk bad about you. We recently went through that issue there. Some medicine man came up here and did a ceremony for us, and evidently, took care of him. Blankets, money, gas, lodging, everything. Left. Geez, about our people here. And I said, oh man, utilizing, they use bad medicine on me, that's why I'm sick. And said, there's no way in our culture, in our value system, do we do voodoo. That's not what it's about. It's to help, it's to heal, it's to enhance that body, our own bodies, to encourage it to heal and overcome a lot of these things like the COVID. But these individuals are out there for the sake of getting drugs and alcohol, money, prestige, or whatever. They're selling out our value system and not being true to it. And so in our adaptive ability, like Zoom, some people can't relate to it because it's technology involved, But yet we have no other way of addressing some of these things that we have to do. We have to do that because it's a danger to bring us together, you see? And so in that adaptability, we're still trying to maintain a sense of that integrity by the song that Robert made for the college, and of course the prayers that go along with it. We're still trying to maintain that with a certain amount of respect. And it's hard because then we leave ourselves open for individuals like that to leave here and talk bad about us, like we're doing something wrong. We're not doing anything wrong. That's not our intent. We're trying to leave something for generations to come, at least an understanding. We're not telling them or anything like that. We're just sharing with them in a good way how we think, like when you speak the language and you share those words and you help them understand it's different, and that's okay, because that diversity and that uniqueness, addressing our cultural value system, should become an enhancement and enrichment for the sake of the growth of our children. And in that, Tokeia, Totakia, is the future is key. The future is important to us. That's why we do this. Should there, we could be doing other things, and it's not about the money. Like, you have other things you're doing. You should be primarily concerned about your health and all this good stuff, but you take time out of your life, Chie, to help us out, coming to the podcast and sharing, even though you need to look after yourself. And that's the main thing. Don't put the podcast ahead of your health, brother, man. I want to keep you here for a long time. So make sure you take care of that primarily, because we'll understand, we'll make it work. But that's what I'm saying. The adaption of the avenue in which we got to address these things. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's the changing of that Tatanka I heard it utilized by certain Dakotas for big horns, like a moose. We make reference to a moose or an elk, tatanka, because again, tahu, tahan, however you choose that, used to be the buffalo. But some of them older folks used tatanka in reference to the horns. Does that make sense, Chie?
You know, while you were talking, one of the things that I've always been puzzled about is that when we use the word wa'unshila,
Yeah.
you know, so when you break up a word like that and you start looking at the base root of the word, you know, and I kept thinking about it and saying, you know, the way we use that word and the way it was defined in the dictionary is have mercy on us or have pity on us. And I say, well, gee, that really doesn't apply to what I think that word means.
I'm pitiful.
And so I start playing around with it. And so to me, the way I hear it and the way I think that it should have been utilized is wa'u ishi. Wa'u ishi. The ishi part is asking for direction to help.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
To help.
And the la, that's where the la comes from.
Yeah.
All right. And so if you make it feminine gender, it comes out wa'u shil la la, you know?
Oh.
All right. So the wa'u ishi, all right, is to ask somebody or the Great Spirit, our maker, to give us purpose, to give us something to achieve. And so that's how I interpret that word for my own intent and purposes.
Yeah.
So I think that type of, how would you say, sensitizing our young to think that you have to set goals, you have to have a purpose in your life so you can achieve them.
Yeah.
And so when you pray, you're reinforcing it.
Yeah.
You know, don't feel that you have to be pitied, you know?
You
know?
Yeah.
So anyway, so that popped into my head and I thought I'd get that in there before I forget, because I'm getting like that. You know, I don't intend to, but it gets you in trouble.
I remember shit.
It gets you in trouble when you call your missus by the wrong name. You're in trouble, man. Oh,
yeah, but that's good. Sometimes you wake up to a new woman every morning, bro.
Who is she out there? I didn't
Well,
say that, did I?
You know what you know how I use that? Because I'm kind of getting Alzheimer's too, and so I just realized that Netflix, I could really like Netflix. I could watch that movie last week. I could watch it again this week, and I won't know what the hell I watched last week. So it'll be a new movie. So I'm saving money.
Always a brand new watch. That's what was 100 times.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here I'm sitting here in Bismarck. There's a jet flying overhead.
I'm on the podcast.
Street traffic going by, and I'm sitting at my cousin's place doing a podcast. Holy smokes! Who do you think that was ever possible? You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing, man. What's accumulated or what's happened over the years.
We can do it. Okay, call me back. I'm talking with Earl. Look, that was Tony Baloney.
Anyway, so I have to giggle at and look at the things that perceptions that we have that when we grew up with, all right, and how we looked at things and how we have to become adaptable so we can understand and help.
Yeah.
You know? So I always ask my students, do you have any questions? After I told you this story, do you have any questions? You know? And so it's always wonderful to hear kids ask questions.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also grown-ups, you know? So, but in order for that to happen, people have to make a step forward and say that they're interested.
Yeah.
And so years ago, if you wanted something, you know, from an elderly, you took tobacco.
Oh.
You set it on the table, tell them your needs, and you know, and so if they can help you, they'd help you and they'd accept it. If not, they tell you who to go to that can help you, you know?
Yeah. That's the way it is.
Yeah. So now it's just, gee, Like for instance, another thing, that example of that is my son was chosen to run a powwow, be the singing judge, or the arena director. So he said, geez, Dad, he said, I need some help. He said, I need to buy tobacco. I said, what are you going to do with that tobacco? He said, I got to give them to all the singers. I said, that's not the intent. I said, get yourself a can of that tobacco. I said, and you put it on the drum. That's for the drum. That's for all, not for them to do smoke for pleasure. I said, there's never that intent that type of pleasure to be used for tobacco. So he went with it. And it worked out. What's that big finger doing in there? Are we breaking up here?
I think he's there, but I think his
earphone.
He turned off his mic.
He's starting to get hard of hearing when I'm my brother.
I put in my earpods. My earpods. Can't make them work.
Well, maybe it's the wax buildup, man.
They won't work. I had to recharge them.
It's probably wax in there.
Shit, these are good.
Yeah.
Those little ear pods. Shit, you can get some. They really work. Once you can get them.
Where do you get them at?
I don't know. I have to ask Elijah. He knows how to get them. I don't know how to get them. Okay. He had to set it up for me so I could make work. So, but shit, they're dandy.
Yeah, we'll hook you up too, Earl. We'll hook you up. He probably put all that earwax in there and they got clogged up.
Kind of shake it up and it comes out anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you a good one. When we were boys, you go pick cherries, eat cherries. You take the seed and put it in your finger like this and you squeeze it. You can shoot it out. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're doing, laughing around. These little bitty guys. One went in my left ear. Seed. So instead of going home and let him, I try to grab it. So I pushed it further in, And that's what you call no ears. I pushed again. Pretty soon got wee in there, man. So I had that in there for years. Earaches. And I tell them, they said, oh man, they put hot stuff on there. My dad blew tobacco in there, trying to help out with it and stuff. And your grandma, she's on fast horse. She said, so I went over there and said, I said, she said, well, this is Yotaka. So she put a towel on her and I laid on my side. And she took a bobby pin and she went in there and she was feeling around. She said, Ma, oh, there's a hole in it, and you can hear it in your ear, and all of a sudden, she said, look up. She just kind of soothed you. Yeah. She took it and she pulled it out. And there was a cherry seed that was all decayed, but there was enough hole for the round part of that bobby pin to go in and turn it. And she pulled it out.
Oh, that's it.
And that's what you call surgery,
No wonder you got one great big ear on one side.
That's the word I was trying to tell you guys. Pajipe, pinch, shot.
Yeah.
Kaha pajipe. So kaha ma pajipe. So that's they gave me a shot.
Say that again.
Kaha ma pajipe. I grabbed my skin. And they,
the skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
You give me a word long enough, I'll figure it out.
And you figure it out. Yeah, that's it too. Yeah.
You just think about it. It comes when you're raised in a home where a lot of language is spoken all the time. It's there. Yeah. It just takes a while to get it come out.
Looks like you're having good weather down there, anyway, eh?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I'd be out hunting right now.
What? Yeah. A lot of people up here already, Chamu.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're
Guapi
getting ready
acá.
for the winter, man. Get some deer meat. But they said there's some little disease involved with the fleas again.
Oh man, really?
Something's happening. Okay, before it was something with the mouth, with an
Yeah,
undetermined
that
blue
blue
or
tongue.
something.
They call it blue tongue,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
You
But
remember
now
a
it's
long time ago, I was talking about this the other day to somebody, and I said those old ladies, they had them special knives, and they would you could tell when it was a good deer hunting season. They said because those old ladies would sit there in the afternoon, they had those special knives, a special one they had, and they had a skill of cutting that dry meat, just thin, you almost see through it. And then after they got all it, and then it's hanging around in your house or wherever, and then they would take the fat that they trimmed off the meat, put it in remember those great big round tubs you used to take a bath in?
Yeah.
Right? They'd put them in there, and then they'd take them and they put salt all over them, and they'd put them in the oven and they'd bake them, and then they come out and wogo.
Yeah.
Wogo. I said you could always tell it was good hunting as much wogo as you got, eh? Then we'd sit around at night and play cards and eat wogo, man. Oh, great. Jeez, that was you'll never get that taste again. Kind of the Mexicans call it chicharrones, and then we call it cracklins, and of course we call it Indian popcorn. But yeah, I remember wogo when we'd shoot a lot of deer. Those old ladies, they'd save those pieces of fat. Remember that?
I remember this friend of mine was telling me that these two Winktes, there's a community member passed away, but they had a lot of papa.
Yeah.
There was a lot of papa there. And so that defines the word wapunze, And so they went over, they always do that. Oh, Shicha, they start walking into their, and just get everybody all worked up.
Yeah.
One of them would go up and view the body while the other one, while he's, Wakunzang over here, the other one's over there, and he's gathering a lot of that pop and putting it in his coat and hiding it.
Yeah.
And so he walks over to his the other guy who's Wakunzang. He said, and so the one of them said, they're really talking about taking the meat.
Taking that meat. I got lots. Did you get some? Yeah, I got lots.
You hear those stories like that, crack you up, man.
Yeah. We was talking about that the other day too. Archie Foolbear was up here on Saturday. Got to see him, visit with him just a little bit, but he was talking about that. Remember those old ladies? They were kind of like I don't know if you call them professional wailers, but they would come up and they'd just wail at the casket to help the people cry, eh?
Yeah,
kind of make the people, and to get it out. And they weren't crying, but they would wail like that. And like my mom Eunice was one of those ladies. One time I was at a funeral and we was guarding the body. It was a veteran, eh? So we was guarding it, and I was standing up there by it, and she'd come up to the casket and she was just wailing and wailing. She had that scarf on. Remember how they used to wear them scarves, and black scarves, and she's just wailing at the body. And sure enough, the family was sitting there in front. They start crying too, eh? Really. And then so she walks out and goes out, and then my turn I got done right after she left. I got done with my guard duty, and so they put another one up. So I went outside to smoke. Here she was right next to me. Son, Chanli Luha, eh? How, Yeah, I gave her one. And I looked at her and I said, are you okay? She said, why? Well, you were just up at the thing crying like heck. Oh, that's what I do. That was her responsibility, eh? And she would do that. And then she was the one who explained to me why she did that. She said, you got to help the people to cry. She said, and that's what my job is. Yeah. And so they dress like that, dark shawl on, a scarf on, have their moccasins on, those high tops. And they go up there and they just wail and wail. Oh man, it's just so heart rendering. And then sure enough, the family would cry. So I kind of got concerned about her. And here she bummed a cigarette off me outside, and so I had to ask her. But then she told me, and we don't have people like that no more, eh? And honoring that kind of that mystery of death, and helping the family kind of let it out, eh? Don't be afraid to cry and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So that was for a lot of us, that was really hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, the way we were raised, You're a cowboy, don't you cry. We were raised that way, competitive,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's a better way to go. But later on, we realized that there ain't nothing wrong with being using those tears to cleanse yourself and cry and get that out,
Yeah.
So I get emotional now watching movies and stuff. Yeah.
Mija. I interpret that, I define that wachekia. I don't call it prayer, but I refer to it as like a heartfelt cry, eh?
Yeah.
As opposed to prayer. Although we use it as the indication of prayer, but to us, it's a heartfelt cry. And that's that humbling yourself to that journey that's going to happen, and not being afraid, but you're going to miss them. Chante yoksi chauman. You're walking around, you're acknowledging that, eh? It's an emotion. You agree with that, Chia?
Yeah, I agree with that. I've been through that. Yeah, I've been
Mhm.
through that. A lot of us, friends and relatives, have all know that it's very important to learn how to deal with that emotion. It's through prayer.
Yeah, heartfelt cry. Then
Yeah.
wachayapi, as it relates to that word prayer, wachayapi, that spiritual energy I'm speaking with. Think about that one, Chia.
There's a lot of good words that we have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have lots of good words.
Oh, that's it too.
And the hard part is sometimes it's hard to interpret it, because people really can't grasp the concept. And so you just be patient and keep saying, well, just think about it. It'll come around.
Well, see, that evolved from Albert. Remember how Albert used to break those words down? Wah, hey?
Right.
And he'd break them up. We chachpe. He even made reference to that by breaking it down, and each word meant something that had a root that applied to even star, eh? Like the sun.
Each syllable, each syllable.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Oh, Albert. Then that white buffalo does that now, isn't it? What's his name?
Charlie.
Yeah, he does that now, eh?
Yeah. I was watching a movie called Imprint. He was in there.
That guy's Lila Witkotko. Oh,
yeah. He's all right, that guy.
Yeah, he's a good one. Yeah. He's a good one.
So anyway, I thought that would be a good subject to kind of talk about and brush about. But anyway, so how much time we got left here? Oh, well, anyway.
9 minutes.
I'm working on that song, but there's a word that I'm trying to get conveyed, and it's mimeme. Oh, can I say it? Mimea. I can't say it slow. Mimeata. And that's coming from the center.
Mimeata.
Like for instance, if you're Mimeata, Hihoni, it arrived from this the water circle or a whirlwind or a cloud or Mimeata. It's from the center that it arrives. So I'm trying to incorporate that.
How do you say cherish? Yanta?
Techichia.
Love.
Techichia.
Yeah.
Daya means fine.
Yeah.
Techichia.
Yeah. Cherish. Okay.
Yeah, so techichila, or you say Akte techichia, cherish your dad. But you don't use it like that with your missus,
No.
We say honey.
Be shit.
I used to have a honey that called me sugar, but it turned out to be Splenda.
Splendid daddy. You're a splendid daddy.
Oh, that's a good laugh. When I came
but-
out over, when I
Go
came out over at Bats, me and Chris were getting coffee in there. I don't know why I said it, but so he told it at the powwow. And
You went to look for a sugar baby and everything else be
I
splendid.
had a honey that sugar that called me honey. It's trying to turn out to be Splenda. Okay.
Good one. But Toshka, I think good enough for today. But I just wanted to share that our the reason why we do this is for clarity, and then if you get that clarity, it dispels that fear, and you go beyond that fear, and then you can understand. We all can understand the importance of critical thought, and the Creator give us our own minds and our own individuality to kind of live this life, searching for our purpose and our dedication in a good way, and so. But in the meantime, there's going to be people that are going to criticize and judge because of their own insecurities about who and what they are. And then when we're pursuant of this understanding of this humbling, brehichie, as Chie would say, we humble ourselves to these different various things to understand the cyclicalness of our teachings and of our growth in respects to Wamakashka. And that all of that creation, we're a part of it. We're not all of it. We're just a part of it. And the number 4 is really representative of that open-mindedness. But that's something that our people that are listening can evolve and delve into that and find out the importance of that letter 4, the importance of Wamakashka, all the creation, the importance of humbling ourselves to that Changleshka, that circle of life, to understand what our part that we play in all of that creation. Because again, it helps us to understand that Berehichia, we humble ourselves to this. We don't try to be somebody or anybody or control. We need to kind of include ourselves in that process by not littering, taking care of the land as well as we could, not contaminating anything, especially our languages, our protocol, our ceremonies, and all that good stuff. But be representative of a good lakota hamacha tokeya, lakota wamacha tokeya. Kind of like that attitude. We're all human beings, and we're all human beings first. So kind of like that. What do you think of that, Chia? Just to throw something.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, we're okay.
Oh.
Potato, what they say.
Yeah. Okay, so Toshka, I think that I got to go over to the west end of the res here and check out the environment here in just a bit.
Oh, oha.
I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
Gotta check it out.
Chase those little white balls around, huh?
All right.
Yeah. Oha. Well, thank you, both of you gentlemen, for sharing with us again. It's always a pleasure. And then for our students that are listening, those of you that are following us on the Facebook Live feed, again, just we archive every one of these episodes to the best of our ability. They are archived on the YouTube channel in addition to our Facebook page. So you can go back to day 1 and listen to all of these hour-long podcasts in the video format on YouTube at Fort Peck Community College. The playlist is Buffalo Chaser, or we also have the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Google Podcast. And so check the student emails, the employee emails. We regroup it out. Those links, they're all embedded right in there. So with that, tomorrow we also have a virtual talking circle every week from 3 to 4, I believe. So this is it's kind of like a 1-2 punch for mental health. You know, we have like this public forum where we live stream this, and we get an opportunity to listen to a couple of elders share some things, and then just by the mere act of listening, you're participating in your own mental health. That's how I look at it. And then when you go to the virtual talking circle, you can have more of a engaging experience through not just listening, but if you want to, you can. But you can also share things and talk. It doesn't all have to be all serious either. It could be some joking, especially when you get Dekshi Tommy there. Man, he likes to joke around a lot. So there's a good opportunity for students. Check your student emails. That virtual talking circle does not go on Facebook. It's not archived anywhere. It's just on Zoom. It's very confidential. So I just wanted to share that. So with that, relatives, have a great night. Doksta ke petu washte yuhapo.
Oksha, don't hunt to care.
Oh, Uksha K, yeah.
Uh,
Oh.